What's up, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire basketball community. If you want more basketball content, tune in to Basketball Conversations every Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. This is where we discuss basketball-related topics, news, debates, and everything else in the world of basketball. So, with no further ado, let's get down to business here, shall we? So, I've been watching around, brothers like Ticket TV, like Too Raw for TV, and also FIF Sports Debate. Salute to them channels. And I must say that the Lakers right now, at this point, are doing the better job in free agency, and they are basically winning in acquiring better talent around this team. And let's cap off at the beginning here, okay? So when the Lakers won their championship, they basically, had several free agents, right? All in all, at this point, the Lakers have lost Danny Green, Quinn Cook, Avery Bradley, and Dwight Howard. But in return of that, okay, they basically swapped up very good pieces. Okay, they brought in Wesley Matthews on a 1 year, $3.6 million deal. All right, another guy that can give you perimeter defense and 3 point shooting. And during his 67 starts during the year, he averaged 7.5 points per game on 39% shooting from the field and 36% from three. All right. So all in all, they're not huge stats, but they're basically contributing stats. Because you don't expect Wesley Matthews to be a high volume scorer anyway, but just a solid, guy who can spot up and shoot threes, and also can provide you, defense. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that move was, a cheap, a good move after basically losing, Danny Green, but it was an effective move, for cheap. I mean, you didn't have to pay that much to get Wesley's Matthews over here. So that was a really good move on their part. But the big one of all happened last week when they swapped up Montrezl Harrell from the LA Clippers. And this basically shocked the entire landscape of the NBA when he basically decided to take a 2 year deal worth approximately $20 million. All right. Now to add some more insight to this, Montrezl Harrell was offered much more money and a starting position with the Charlotte Hornets. All right, but he didn't care about that and took the $20 million to play with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if you're a Clippers fan, it it's kind of disheartening, if you want to put it that way, because you're off of that uh, horrific blown 3-1 lead in the playoffs, right? And there was many questions about the chemistry of the team and the parts around the team. And then one of the big guys is you got that basically was heart and soul of your team, you know what I'm saying, that provides you defense, rebounding, you know what I'm saying, and earning six man of the year honors when he averaged 18.6 points per game and shooting 58% from the field. You lose that amount of production and you give the Lakers that. I'm telling you, that was a really handy move on their part. And to consider the fact that he also acquired Dennis Schroeder in that trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder, all right, who finished second in the six man of the year honors, who averaged 18.9 points per game on 46% shooting from the field and 38% from 3 point range. And with that move being said, you basically acquired one guy that can bridge you, low post scoring, rebounding, defense in Harrell. Then you also add the fact you add a shooter who can give you another ball handler can score at will and can basically take pressure off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So with those three moves as being said, that is really, really great start for the Los Angeles Lakers. And they're not done yet, you guys. I'm telling you, they're not done yet thus far. Now I'm hearing reports that they're now on the verge of possibly signing Marc Gasol to the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, according to Adrian Wojciechowski of ESPN and Shans Carnania of the of the Athletic. I'm telling you guys, if you're a team that's trying to beat the Los Angeles Lakers right now, this must concern you because the Lakers have not lost that much in free agency. All right, they haven't. Sure, you basically lost, your point guard in Rajon Rondo, but in all sincerity, they're getting much more in return out of this. All right, they're getting a lot more in return. Because you basically bring up one guy that can basically do the job way better than Dwight Howard did in Montrezl Harrell. You also add another versatile ball handler who can provide you some scoring off of your bench, right? I mean, if you're the Lakers right now, you basically done a great job of bringing in newer and probably much more talented pieces to your team. All right, and they're not done yet, you guys. There's more moves that they could possibly pull off at this point. You know what I'm saying? But the Lakers right now, they're putting themselves in a very excellent position to possibly to repeat as NBA champions, barring injury and barring if they get off to a good start. You know what I'm saying? But I really like those three moves that they basically pulled off thus far. You know what I'm saying? It's really was a very excellent moves to do that. You know what I mean? I think that there's more that they could be done at this point. But more the big thing is that they have to make sure to resign Anthony Davis to a long-term deal, and they're gonna certainly do that because if they don't do it, then there's something wrong here. Okay, but they basically a couple last week, Anthony Davis opted out of that last year that contract with New Orleans to become a free agent, and now what I've been hearing is that now they're basically focusing on negotiating a new deal with Anthony Davis to pretty much stay in Los Angeles. And so he's pretty much playing the role of wait and see before the Lakers basically the Lakers can probably give a chance to re-sign Davis. But I really like what the Lakers have done so far. They're not resting on their laurels like other teams. They're actually aggressively pursuing new pieces, restructuring their roster, and they're pretty much putting up an excellent case why Anthony Davis should stay in Los Angeles. All right, and if you're the Lakers management, you've done your job. You've done basically what you've been able to do and bringing in new pieces in, and you still got more pieces you can fill up to fill up the other spots on the roster right now. That's a great case to raise case for Anthony Davis to come back and stay with the Lakers long term. So and I do believe that in my honest assessment, I think Anthony Davis will stay in Los Angeles. I think that with the moves they made thus far, it's pretty much showing to Anthony Davis that hey, we're in it to win more championships, not just a one hit wonder. So yeah, I like these moves. They've really been done an excellent job of making these kind of moves thus far, and they're not done yet, you guys. So that's what I believe in this whole grand scheme of things. If you're a Clippers fan, this has to really dishearten you because like I said, you've blown the 3-1 lead in the playoffs. You've lost one of your main big guys in Montrezl Harrell, right? And you haven't made much other changes to the roster right now to really keep this team competitive. All right. And if things don't get off to a good start for the Clippers, don't be surprised if you hear Paul George and Kawhi Leonard's name being on the block for trade rumors. All right. Listen, the Clippers came into the last season with championship level expectations, and the chemistry was shot. There was much more emphasis on more about load management than rather than just focusing on winning games and improving the chemistry of the team. While the Lakers showed the opposite of that, and so right now, if you're a Clippers fan, you should be worried about where this team is going to be going at this when the season starts. So the Lakers right now, they're putting up a good case to repeat as champions. And whoever comes out of the East, you know what I mean? If it's either Brooklyn or Milwaukee, you know, it's going to be a tough test to beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. So that's just my 2 cents of the whole thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.